good? We back with another reaction. You see, it's a little different, man. We're gonna do this reaction a little different, and we're gonna get back to the NBA reactions. I think we'll put 3 together or like 2 together and post it out as one. We'll figure it out though. But look, Isaiah Thomas annihilates Charles Oakley for disrespecting Giannis. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, share, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Join the team. So this is how I've been feeling so far. I've been giving reactions, and I've been doing all this, but I don't think I really just talk. Basically, how my opinion on these type of things. So I'm finna get more. I'm finna just let y'all know how I feel. Now, all this is my opinion. You're entitled to your own opinion as well, but hey, I'm just gonna give mine.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's get to it.
Show where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, man, we got a ridiculous episode to get into. So just make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, I cannot tell you the amount of videos that we have done in the defense of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Why? Because for whatever reason, some people out there are always trying to find ways to cut this guy off at the legs. And here's what I don't understand. I don't understand why people continuously do this with somebody that's actually a great basketball. Why don't y'all wait for the players that are not good and go at them? Why do people spend so much time trying to find ways to discredit such a great, an NBA champion at that matter?
That's the part that doesn't make sense. Shout out to them. I think it's Dreamers Pro. Because I missed it at the beginning. Because shout out to them, man. But look, this is exactly what I'm saying. It makes no sense. It's one thing to disrespect someone, for instance, say he's average and he's never won a championship. That's one thing. It's a whole nother thing as well. This is another thing as well. To diss somebody who's a great player but doesn't have a ring, like a Charles Barkley. That's another thing. But this man, Giannis, has a ring. What is there to hate on anymore? He's great and he has a ring. And he's a champion. There's nothing else. What? 2-time MVP? I don't understand the hate for this man, Giannis. He's proven time and time again he's a great player. This is ridiculous,
out there
man.
That get more respect that they haven't won a bloody thing than Giannis Antetokounmpo. And to me, it makes no sense. And the latest example of this is Charles Oakley. Now, Charles Oakley, as you know, has been out there making his run, making his media circuit run, because he has a book that just came out. And, obviously he's one of the NBA greats, a former New York Knick, also a very close friend of Michael Jordan. But what I kind of understood about some of the commentary that Charles Oakley's been putting out there is that it's quite abrasive. He's taking shots at different people. So once I kind of understood that was really where this was going, about dissing this guy, I'll slap this guy, I'll slap that guy, I was like, okay, whatever, I don't really care. We're not for that type of sports. We don't do that. But
we just fight.
Nevertheless,
this is another thing too. A lot of people okay, so look, a lot of people, especially in the 80s, and I'd say the 90s as well. If you look at today's basketball, everyone is pretty much skilled for the most part. Pretty much almost everyone can shoot. Everyone has moves. Back then in the 80s and 90s, you had the people that were skilled and that were cold. And then you just had people who just pretty much fought, the enforcers. They couldn't play a lick of basketball. All they're going to do is foul and hit. And this was another thing I want to say. I'll say it later because they're going to get into it, I think.
What is it? Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I really wasn't going to cover it because I'm like, this is just ridiculous. But
it's crazy talk,
then later found out that Isaiah Thomas, and top 75 NBA player, ended up responding to him. So quickly, let me just get into the quotes that he said. It starts off with the headline, Charles Oakley, Giannis Antetokounmpo would have been a bench player when I played. The quote is essentially this: he wouldn't have been a force back then in the day, Oakley said.
I got a question. Did Charles Oakley start? If he started, then this is wild. Could you would have been like let's take the Knicks for example. if Charles Oakley started on the Knicks, and I need someone to fact check this because I don't know. I'm pretty sure he had. I'm pretty sure he started. If Charles Oakley could start for the Knicks, and the Knicks picked up Giannis, Charles Oakley lost his spot. The day Giannis walks in the gym, Charles Oakley would have lost his spot right then and there. And it's arguable Giannis would have been the best player on that team. Between him and Patrick Ewing, I think Giannis is better. Giannis would have been the best player on that team, and y'all would have been fighting for Giannis. Like, come on, man. We got to stop this.
Struggled. They would make him shoot jump shots. He wouldn't be doing...
Okay. I'm sorry for positive. If you don't like it, oh well. Look, he wouldn't have been a fourth back in the day. He would have struggled. They would make him shoot jump shots. If Charles Oakley could start in the league back then, and he didn't shoot jump shots, did he? Look, again, fact check it. Was he a jump shooter? I don't think so. I think it was an enforcer. If Charles Oakley can get on the court and he couldn't shoot jumpers, a 6'11", athletic freak Giannis would have been just fine.
A Euro step
we gotta
to the basket.
Stop this.
Somebody's
man.
gonna knock his head off. He'd have come off the bench back in the day. So before I even go too far, I want you guys to take a quick listen to the rebuttal of Isiah Thomas when he heard the comments that Charles Oakley had to make about Giannis Antetokounmpo. So before we go too far, take a listen to what Isiah Thomas had to say about the comments that Charles Oakley made about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Let's see what Zeke
So
said.
what say you, basketball fans? Would Giannis be an MVP caliber player in the 80s and the 90s? Yes or no? Scan the QR code. Zeke, in the 80s?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Absolutely. Wait, come on. Let's be for real now. Okay.
Right.
I remember in the 80s, there was a guy by the name of Ralph Sampson. Okay? Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Before Ralph Sampson got hurt, they were saying that Ralph Sampson was going to be, I remember Bill Russell saying Ralph Sampson can be the greatest player ever because of his skill set, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to play around the baskets, his ability to block shots. Giannis is today's Ralph Sampson. And all these guys talking about, well, Giannis couldn't play and all that. Dude, Giannis going around Oakley, Giannis going around all them, he dunking on them, he bigger, he faster, he stronger. You can talk all that stuff because you don't play no more. You can talk all that stuff because you got gray hair and you sitting on the sideline smoking cigars about what you used to do. That dude would dog you every single time y'all stepped on the court. Now, you may hit him hard. Okay, all right. After you hit him hard, you ain't got no game. You ain't.
What did I just say? If Charles Oakley could start in the league, there is no question. That doesn't make sense to me. Giannis is a top 75 player. They should have asked Oakley this. If you were playing in today's game, how much would you average? That's what I would have asked him. If he said Giannis is coming off the bench in their day, I would ask him, okay, Oakley, if you were playing in today's game, what? Because you started, right? You started. So how much are you averaging? Like, if you were to play in today's game, how much would you average? Now they always ask the question with Jordan and the scores, but Oakley wasn't that. So I would ask them, how much you scoring? What do you like? Are you gonna average a double? What are your numbers if you played in today's game? I would have asked them that.
I ain't got no game.
Okay, that doesn't make sense.
If you hit me and I'd be like, okay, that's all you got? You ain't got nothing but a hit? I'm getting ready to mess over you. And Giannis, just like he treating them now, he's bigger, faster, stronger. He'd be dunking on all them. Left-handed, just like Ralph Sampson was dunking on them. Giannis would be doing the same thing. So all y'all stop it with he wouldn't dominate in the 80s. We ain't never seen no dude like this come into our league. And give him his props, give him his credit.
What is this? What is it with people thinking, not all, but some people thinking that because other people come from other parts of the world, what is it with you thinking that because these people come from different countries that you're not from, that these people are somehow soft or pushovers?
That's insane.
Why do some people go out there behaving like this? Why do people assume that just because this guy's from this country or this guy's from that country and I'm from this neighborhood, I'm from that place of this city, that somehow these people that you're going to run into are somehow soft? Why do you believe that you're tougher than everybody walking on the face of the earth? Like, where does this mentality come from? It's one of the reasons. You see, when you assume that everybody you run into is a sucker, you get dealt with. It is the exact thing that happened with Markieff Morris and Nikola Jokic. Markieff Morris
give my point.
And his brother Marcus Morris is probably my favorite clip. I really like that guy a lot. He thought he found a sucker in Nikola Jokic when he shoved him in the back. Not in the back, in the elbow, in the ribs, excuse me. He ripped the guy when he was coming down with the ball, as he was going up to pass the ball, and he thought that he was going to rip this guy, and he thought, well, this dude must be a sucker, because he's not from Philly, so he's not going to do nothing. And what happened? The total opposite happened. He found out that he ran into a monster. He gave it back to him 100-fold. And when his brother tried to talk all of that trash, Nikola Jokic's brothers quickly escalated it.
Look, man. See, this is another thing. Story time real quick. I played in the AU game. I got fouled hard. And I was playing with some people from Africa, right? They just came from Africa. And so the dude fouled me. He was a big, and they were bigs. So then they started getting into it like they was finna fight, right? And one of the parents said, you don't want to mess with that dude. He's from South Dallas. And then my dad responded. He said, South Dallas? This dude is from Africa. See, this is what I don't understand. I wonder if it's got to be because we live here. Because it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, all my family, for the most part, when we think of people from overseas, those are people you do not want to mess with. Them people overseas, across the water, you do not want to mess with them. You've seen Joker's brothers? They look like I'm not even going to talk about it. See what I mean? You don't even want to talk. They quickly escalated it. Like, the stuff we got to deal with is completely different from what they got to deal with over there. Like, I'm talking completely. Like the story I just gave you. They're from Africa. So you might be from South Dallas and you gotta fight people, do all this in order to survive. They gotta fight off lions and tigers and animals like that to survive. Like, it's a whole nother mentality, I think, of people overseas than it is here. And when they get here, they think they're soft. I don't think anyone from over there is soft.
There's some people you cannot mess with. Those Serbians are not somebody to joke with.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not.
You don't.
Forget about what you think. Some people are not to be played with because of the country and the environment that they're bred in. Mm-hmm. That's not the fight that you were looking for. Mm-hmm. What is it about this thing that he feels, okay, we're going to bully Giannis and we're going to knock him up? How do you know Giannis wouldn't have been the one knocking you guys on the floor? Why do you assume that? That, because we're just going to rough him up and we're going to do whatever we want to do to him and we would have beat him. Like, what is that? You must have...
Okay, here's another thing he said. We're just going to rough him up and beat him up. There is no skill involved in that. If y'all are going to do that, Giannis is already better than y'all then. He's way more athletic than y'all. He's bigger than y'all, stronger than y'all, faster than y'all. If all you have is to beat them up, then you're in trouble. Because, to me, this is my opinion. Giannis, compared to today's players, isn't that skilled. Like how James was like, it doesn't take much skill to put the ball in the... But compared to people today, like the KDs who's handling, doing all this, and then you got Joel Embiid who got footwork, the three, mid-range, James Harden can dance like Kyrie. He's not skilled like those guys. But if you compare to the people back then, this man Giannis is one of the most skilled players in the league.
That I'm the toughest guy in the world, and there's nobody else tougher than me. This is a mistake to do this. One of my favorite rappers, the late and great Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle is from one of the most dangerous sets in the United States. It's just not even up for debate. He was from one of the most dangerous sets in the United States. Nipsey Hussle spoke about a time when he went back to Eritrea. Remember, his father's from Eritrea. And I think he said he went to go visit his grandmother at the time. It was his first time going to Eritrea. Go look this up, the videos out there, the article. I forgot
it's
where I got
wild
it from.
over there.
And he said, literally, every other day, he was in a fight. Every other day, he was in a fight, in a brawl somewhere outside in Eritrea with those guys there. He said he got into more physical confrontations, I think, than where he was from. That's what he said. The point I'm making is,
you don't play with them over there.
These people from other countries are soft.
They're
You're
not.
going to get yourself into a bad situation if you're not careful. People that do this.
They are not soft
Charles
over there.
Oakley is basically talking about we'd have been punking Giannis.
That's not happening.
I don't know what would make you think. Is it because Giannis is always smiling? Is it because he always has a smile on his face? You think, oh, this guy must be soft.
Magic.
Not because the dude is always carrying a mean mug doesn't mean you're always the toughest guy. This is a mistake. You saw when Nikola Jokic looks like a very nice guy, but you went. Markieff Morris thought he found a sucker, and he found out that he ended up. We got to stop this. What is it with this thing with hating on Giannis? Giannis would have been able to dominate him because he was soft, and that's what Isaiah Thomas is like. Cut that out, man. Cut it out. Y'all wouldn't be doing anything to guy. He'd be dunking on all. That's what he said.
He
said, even if you hit him, what are you going to do? What else are you going to do? You're going to hit him all game long?
That's what I'm saying. That's it.
Flagrant fouling him? What is it with this thing with y'all? I don't. To me, I don't understand. People are looking for every silly argument to make against this guy. I don't understand it. But to my other point about this constantly assume, it's a mistake. Stop doing that for the people that do that. It's not wise. Because you get yourself into situations you don't want to be in. Trust me. Okay, I grew up in the Bronx, New York. I'm not a tough guy in any way, shape, or form. Right? I wasn't a pushover. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. But it was one of the toughest parts toughest way I've been in the world. So to me, I think it's a dangerous thing that people walk around thinking it's not a joke, and to me, I don't think it's funny. And I think this whole thing about hating on Giannis is getting quite old.
This is okay. Y'all gonna hate me for this again. I don't care. See, I'm finna say whatever it is, and y'all can either rock with me or y'all could go. That's pretty much where we at right now. Look, man, what I hate, this irks me, this bothers me so much. When people talk about the 90s was so tough, the physicality was so tough. Now, if you say compared to today, like how the refs, I don't think the physicality in the game isn't like that. I think it's the refs. The officiating makes it seem like that. But we got to stop talking like the 90s, people just getting beat up. Because it's not true. Like, you get hit, you have a good hit every now and then. But I think that's throughout the whole, until now, because the refs. But before that, pretty much throughout history, you'd have... No, I don't want to say throughout history. From the 90s on, the 2000s was just as rough as the 90s. Because they always use this argument with LeBron, and it makes no sense to me. LeBron wouldn't have been able to play because it was a lot more physical. LeBron played in the 2000s. He played in 2003. Dominated from the moment he touched the floor. First game had 26. So we got to chill out with this, man. The 90s, yes, it was tough. It was tougher compared to today. But it's not like if you said the 80s or the 70s, you got me. The 80s they were beating people up in the 80s and 70s. The 90s, once Jordan started winning, Jordan was not going through because they'd be like, LeBron wouldn't have been able to do this because of the physicality, like Jordan had to do with the bad boy Pistons. In the 90s, when he actually won, he didn't have to deal with that. When he won, he didn't have to deal with that. Once they got over, he didn't have to deal with that no more. Because they said, Jordan is the face of the league, and we're going to protect him. If you be surprised at all, the soft call, the touchy calls that Jordan was getting back then, because he was the face of the league. But that's just how it's been throughout history. If you're one of the best players, you might get more calls than a role player. It's been like that this whole time. So the 80s, if you said the 80s, I'm like, okay. People were fighting in the 80s, getting clothesline. Like, Kurt Rambis got clothesline and all that. That was a regular foul. If you said the 80s, okay. The 90s was not like that. And Charles Oakley, if he talking about them Knicks in the 90s, they weren't beating people up like they claimed to. Like, you might get hit, but everyone was getting hit. Like, it's not.
If you want to pick somebody to hate on,
you gotta chill out, man.
There. Don't find a reason to criticize Giannis. This guy works his tail off. Go criticize Ben Simmons. Go criticize somebody else that's not taking the game of basketball seriously. Go criticize somebody that's working his tail off.
Ben
Ever since he got into the NBA, it's been nothing but a hard worker and been a great example. That's, of all the people you want to find something to say about is this guy, are you freaking kidding me? So I'm very happy that Isaiah Thomas stood up and said something because he has the clout to do so. He's one of the few people,
he was there.
The top 75 players. So if he comes out there and says that, it's going to carry a lot of weight. And I'm very happy that he said this, but this thing has to stop. It makes no sense, really.
At all.
We got to stop this. It's childish. These are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamers Pro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.
I hit the subscribe button. That's it for the video, man. It makes no sense to me. Like, when I say it makes no sense, all this disrespect towards Giannis makes no sense because he won a ring. He took a small market team to the finals and won. So I don't understand why they hate him. But again, make sure you like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe because, hey, I'm going to just say what I think and that's what it is, man. But with that being said, I'm out.